Greetings everyone, welcome back to Blade Bias. Finally feeling a little bit better, although you have to excuse me if I still sound a little nasally. We have some new stuff. My hobby bench is completely covered with ballast songs right now. Both good and a bad thing, I would say. And here we have some more. I have a pass around from BxndxgeKnives, maker of the Stitch, a ballast song that I really enjoyed the first time that I checked it out. This is I believe it's just another Stitch, and the Stitch R, which was a limited time thing that he released a very few units of. No plans, as far as I understand from when I talked to him, no plans to like release this thing fully. But you'll have to keep an eye out on his Instagram, BxndxgeKnives, not Bondage Knives, with an X where the A's are supposed to be. Yeah, not Bondage Knives. Although you got the X's and it's like X-rated and whatever. BxndxgeKnives. Do want to give a quick shout out. He actually included a little gift. He gave me a UV light, which is actually super sick. So now anytime I get something with glow in the dark or more fluorescent filament like this, what am I trying to say? Holy cow, I can't speak right now. Like the palette, it glows very nicely. So a huge thank you to Bondage for that. Super kind. I actually have never even considered getting a UV light. I love glow in the dark stuff. I was a huge fan of it when Zippy was doing stuff with it, and it just never crossed my mind to pick one up. So now I have one, and that's pretty cool. But let's take a look at the Bondage, not Bondage Knives, Stitch. Now this, I believe, is the normal Stitch. This looks like the average Stitch. The Stitch R, which I believe in here, was meant to be like a chunkier version. Yeah, so you can see it's actually much thicker here. Unfortunately, Bondage did send me a lot of the details in a voice message, so I might not have everything down. Usually I like to go back and read up on what people sent me. But, oh, and a new blade design. Okay, interesting. This is a bit thicker, not much thicker than the original Stitch, not as much as I was expecting. Still, I would describe it as almost a rectangular looking knife, but a totally new blade for this Stitch. And I believe actually these are glow in the dark spacers, so we can charge those up real nice here. And I can actually, gosh, I love how quickly that does that. And then hit the lights. I don't know what you guys can or can't see, but in real life, this is very fluorescent, and I really like it. I actually kind of want to flip it like this. Oh my gosh, it looks so freaking cool in person, but I'll turn the lights back on in case you guys can't actually see anything. Just from that tiny bit of flipping, wow, very impressed. This thing feels incredible. Oh my goodness, this is incredibly well balanced. Let me just see, is this sharp? Oh, it's completely dull. Hallelujah. I can actually freaking kind of rip on it without having to worry about getting cut. I love live blades. Live blades are cool, but I just don't like flipping live blades. I like live blades as a tool. I don't like flipping them. It's more annoying than anything if you get cut. You got to stop what you're doing and go clean it out, and it takes, 10, 20 minutes. I don't like it. And you got to deal with keeping a Band-Aid on it for a while unless you want to bleed all over your pillows or whatever while you're sleeping. Just me. It might just be me. I don't know. But I really like the balance on this thing. Ton of momentum in the handles, but an overall very neutral feeling ballast song. It doesn't really... Feels a little tiny bit unstable in the chaplains, but nothing bad at all. And more than makes up with that with exceptional fanning performance and actually pretty freaking good chaplain and rollover performance. It's sticking to my fingers quite well. And, that fan is just the icing on the cake. Very bouncy. Very nice feeling. A little bit rough around the edges, literally. There are a few not sharp corners, just a little more square than I would personally prefer. But nothing uncomfortable by any means. Man, I actually really like the Stitch R. Yeah, it just flips really nicely. Blade spine's a little uncomfortable. Nothing too bad, like I said. But just the combination of how well it carries momentum, how well it sticks to your fingers during rollover base tricks as I drop it, and how well it fans and choker fans. I mean, it's a very chunky fan and choker fan. Like it keeps that incredibly keeps it incredibly, what am I trying to say? Keeps a lot of the momentum. Sorry, I'm recovering from being sick. My brain isn't working. It keeps a lot of the momentum during that fan, so it just feels very responsive. I like it. Let's go to the original Stitch, which once again, oh my gosh, it's dull. I love it so much. The original Stitch was a ballast song that I really liked, and I enjoyed giving feedback to Bandage, because he actually implemented some of it. I believe he mentioned in a message to me that the Zen nipple was something that he looked at because of a video that I made, and then the sharpening choil was something that he looked at because of a few other people's videos. I think I remember Den talking a lot about the Stitch. This feels amazing. A little less handle biased than the Stitch R, which, I mean, makes sense. Because not only do we have a bigger, chunkier blade here. I mean, I've already tried the Stitch, so let's just call this a revisit. But it's a bigger, chunkier blade, and it's thinner handles. So heavier blade, lighter handles makes it a profile that I more resonate with. A lot of momentum in that blade, but the handles still definitely carry their momentum very well. I'd actually say that I enjoy the balance on this a little bit more than the Stitch R. But the Stitch R, I think, would be maybe more resonating. It would resonate better with a greater amount of people, maybe. I don't know. Loving the way that this choker fans. Not so much loving the Zen nipple still. I'm still feeling it scrape against me. It has very sharp corners here, so maybe it's not pinchy, but it definitely, like when I throw a rollover like this, I can feel that. I can feel it kind of scrape against my finger as it goes past. Not the craziest thing in the world. Not the worst thing in the world. Especially, actually, specifically when I do this and I go around like that, I can definitely feel that Zen nipple scrape against my hand. Not something I'm super used to. Again, not a huge complaint. I'm more than willing to give it a pass because I really enjoy how this thing flips. It's like a lighter, more balanced version of the Nemesis, I think. The Nemesis was kind of short, but it also kind of had that thin... The Nemesis was also far more pushed with the handles towards the end of the handles. There was far more momentum here. And its shorter length made it a little bit interesting to flip. I really liked the Nemesis, but I've grown to very much more appreciate balances like this as I have come to flip more often. And I'm enjoying the Stitch just as much, if not more, actually, right now than the first time that I had it. And I'm actually extremely stoked that this thing's a dull one that I can try this time. Because if memory serves me, that last one that I got sent was a sharp one. And that's when it had the crazy sharpening choil, so that's kind of when you didn't want to mess with it. But yeah, I actually am really enjoying this. This is a pass around, so I unfortunately don't get to keep this. But if you're interested in getting a Stitch for yourself, yeah, Stitch R definitely feels more handle bias now that I get to it. Not much, though. So it's like if you prefer handle bias, you definitely go with the Stitch R, but it's not like handle heavy by any means. You're not going to get like a crazy handle bias experience here. I'd say it's even still more neutral than something like a typical squid belly. But that's something I'll take time over the next week or so to evaluate, along with the 17 other ballast songs that I have right now. Not complaining. Definitely not complaining. Just, yeah, it's a lot. Yeah, so this isn't mine. If you're looking to get a Stitch for your own, I'm completely unsure of their current status in production or anything like that. Please go follow Bandage Knives, BxndxgeKnives Knives on Instagram. I think I got that right. I hope I did. for more clear updates on what the timeline is for stuff like this. It's still in production, I would imagine. That's why he's doing a pass around for it. But yeah, first impressions of the stitch. Still rough on this Zen nipple, honestly. Still kind of sharp, scraping me quite a bit as I'm flipping it. Otherwise, really, really enjoying the balance here. And the stitch are fun, chunkier. Literally no issue with the Zen nipple because there really isn't one here. But chunkier, more handle biased, heavier momentum, I guess, version of the stitch, which I think is exactly what it was supposed to be. So really enjoying this. Huge thank you to Bondage for including me in the pass around. Huge thank you for popping me that UV light. I'm excited to mess around with that thing a little bit more. And until the next one, guys, I will see you then. There's a lot of balisongs to do follow-ups on. Holy cow. I'm going to go get started. Thank you all for watching. Thank you again to Bondage, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.